Hello, it's Julie Rothall here from artyheaven.com. I have gone live in this group because I decided late last night that I was going to do some live painting. I very much have a tendency not to share things unless they're I'm really happy with them, they're absolutely perfect, and yeah, I can come up with all sorts of reasons to put off going live, which doesn't really share the beauty of this medium that I work with. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm an artist and I specialise in painting with encaustic wax. That's really pretty much the sole medium that I use. I do have lots of other mediums here, and if I use them, I tend to use them with encaustic wax rather than on their own. For example, oil paints, I will and mixed media, I will incorporate it into my work. So yeah, I decided to just jump on, and what I've done, I'm going to turn this around. This is really rough, ready, imperfect, but I just thought I'd share what I've been working on. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is, I've got my hot plate going here, and as I say, it's not perfect, it's messy. I was painting yesterday, and yeah, I literally, when you finish painting with wax, you literally just turn the hot plate off and leave it, and then you come in and fire it up and start again. So even down to that, normally I wouldn't even start a live unless my hot plate was all immaculate. But you know, this is the messy end of painting with wax. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing that. Also, I am going to be, so I started painting this yesterday. I'm just going to show you a couple of different ways. I'm kind of different ways of working with things, basically. So before I jump into that, encaustic's quite normally I work on a wooden support, a solid support, and you know, you can get a bit precious. It's that blank canvas syndrome when you do that, I find. So what I've actually was doing yesterday, just as a loosening up exercise, is I started working on this, and it's actually a really, really, really thick, I'm not sure what grade it is, watercolour paper, and it's actually really sturdy, and it's quite nice. So I'm not worried about perfectionism here at all. It's just, I just wanted to do an exercise and just kind of loosen myself up a little bit. And I've just found it's worked really nicely. So generally I say you have to work on a solid support, but I mean, you can see how thick this paper is, and sometimes I'll work on mount card, but I find that tends to bend as you heat it. But this so far, and I've only done a couple of thin layers, has worked really nicely. So I'm going to put my camera up here and I'll chat as I go, so hopefully you can see. And then whilst I'm painting, I can't see any comments. I can see somebody's on live, one or two of you, hello. I can't see who. So I'm going to start just doing a bit of painting and I'll chat as I go. And then in a minute, I'm going to come back and just check and see if there are any questions. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. If you've got no idea what I'm doing, hopefully in this group, most people are familiar with encaustic. So you'll kind of know roughly what I'm up to. But I started doing this picture yesterday. I'm actually, I haven't shared online, but I've joined a lady I know runs an online life drawing class, and I've just joined it just to loosen myself up again and get back into the flow of painting. And I've been doing it with pencil and like Conti crayons, just as a drawing exercise, which I've really enjoyed. And then I decided I was just going to have a go at getting some of the forms in wax instead of pencil. So I had a go yesterday. This week is a rest week, so we kind of catch up on any previous projects. And she had an image. It's called the Jolly Sketch. I can pop, if anybody's interested, I can pop the link in. She had an image from Halloween where she was dressed as a witch with a you know, a magical ball. And I really liked these reflections on her face coming out of the darkness. So I just wanted to have a go at capturing that. Now, again, normally I have a tendency not to share anything that's not perfect, and, you know, but, you know, I just decided to kind of let go of that and get over that whole making sure, only sharing the good side. So I thought I'd just show you a bit of my work in progress, a bit of my thought process as I'm going through. And then I'm going to have a go at painting on this and working on this. No idea full disclaimer, no idea how it's going to turn out. So we'll just give it a go and see. But I guess the emphasis of what I want to get across is don't panic if you know, it's not going. I absolutely loved painting this yesterday. I really enjoyed it, and I wasn't worried about what I came out with. So that's the main point, rather than creating an actual finished picture. So my hot plate has been on for a little while. I'll just turn it up a tiny bit. So my heat that I have got, how warm this will be. Let's use that. These get hot when you push them. Whoops, I don't know where my little silicone mitts are. So I've got my surface thermometer on. The temperature is probably as low as I can do it. It's about 160, 170 degrees on there at the moment. So it's enough. It's not really solid. I might turn it up in a minute once I start painting. Let's just see if there's any comments or anything coming in. I can see somebody's on, so that's good. So I started doing this yesterday, and this ball here is, I can't show you the actual source photo because it was on my computer, and I don't know how that stands with copyright things with my friend. But this ball here was really white. Now what I had on my brush was a big residue of green paint. So this green paint here isn't reflecting the light in her face at all. So what I'm going to have a go at today is taking this back and getting some white paint on and a bit of orange to kind of see if I can kind of match these glows up a little bit, if you like. So I've got my hot gun. I'm just going to warm it up a bit. I'm going to go really gentle on the fusing. Because it's on paper, it's not on wood, so it's not going to, you know, what's the word? It's not going to be able to cope with the amount of fusing that you can do on wood. But I'm just going to scrape this back a bit. So I've got a reasonable thickness of paint on there. But, oh, actually, already. So I don't know how well you can see this. Let me check. Can you see? Please do pop in the comments below and let me know if you can't see anything very well. So what I've got is I've got a pottery tool, and I'm just scraping off a bit of that wax on the top. And even by that, I'm going back to the white of the paper and getting rid of that green hue, and I quite like. It's going to need a little bit of alternative colour, as I say, to match the colour on her face, but I'm quite liking just going back to the paper underneath and leaving that you know, the paper coming through, just leaving a hint of the colour. I quite like that effect. I think I would probably use that in a finished piece anyway. And the beauty of doing this as well, because you're not kind of hung up on doing a finished piece, it's just an exercise just to enjoy, really. I will warn you, when I'm concentrating I go quiet, so if I keep going quiet it's because my talking and painting at the same time can be tricky. Right, taking a bit of that off, I'm going to refuse it. And then come back in. That was my white brush. What I should have done is brought up my reference photo with me, which I didn't do, but hey ho. As I say, this isn't about a finished painting, this is just about learning techniques, and my point is, I think we can all get a bit hung up over perfectionism, and as long as you're enjoying it, don't worry about it. So I've got my pots of wax over here. So sometimes I'll melt my wax directly on the hot plate. Sometimes I've got it in an actual tin. I've got some encaustic medium, just some clear medium in here. So if I want to thin it down, I'll just move my wax from, you know, my little pot It's almost like adding water to watercolour if you haven't seen it before. Thin it down a bit, it's quite thick with pigment. And then each layer that I do, you need to, you need to fuse it as well. Cool. Can't pick it up too quickly because it's still molten at this point, and if I pick the picture up it's just going to run. So it's a perfect opportunity to come back and see if there are any comments. I can't see any. So if you have any questions, do pop them in. If you want close-ups or anything, I'll pick my camera up and bring it back over to the hot plate, or let me know. And then whilst this is still molten, so okay, that's cooled enough now to go solid. And what you could do, I really like these kind of little bits that spill out into the picture, kind of makes it a bit more mystical, but sometimes you don't want that. So if, for example, on her crystal ball in this example, it was a very clear, defined round ball. So all I'm going to do in that scenario is just tighten it up a little bit. I'll need to go back in with her fingers and paint them back in. And I'm kicking myself a bit now that I've gone live, I realised I didn't have my reference image with me here. So I'm just going to freewheel it a bit, but as long as I'm enjoying it, that's all that matters. This isn't about a piece that's going to be this is just for me having fun. It's an exercise, and what you'll find is you'll get little passages that you really like, and then you can take that and put that into a final piece somewhere else. Right, what to do next? So this shadow is really dark up here, so I either take some of this off or I make the rest of it a bit darker. So I have a choice now on what I'm going to do. I've done an example here where I've taken some off, so what I think I'm going to do is just darken it up a bit. Bit of a risk because I haven't got my reference image here, but hey, as I say, we'll just go with it and see what happens. Hopefully you'll get the principles and the gist of what I'm trying to put across. I just love those shadows you get with the same if you ever see images that are kind of, you know, people that are lit with candles. I've seen, you know, you get those images sometimes. They're just, I think they're beautiful. I love them. And it's actually not a finish that I've tried to create very often, so yeah, interesting to see how that goes. So I need a bit more colour, so I'm just going to melt a bit more wax on my hot plate, add a bit of this. I'm going to need to pull a little bit of this out. I think I've just gone in too deep under here, but I really like these yellows reflecting on her face. So I think that's something I might use in the future. Let me have a quick look at this a minute and see if there are any comments. Here you go, I'll give you a close-up. Hello, Rose Gregory. Lovely to see you. good to see some people on, thank you. So if you didn't catch at the start, this is my very messy hot plate. And I'm just doing a very imperfect bit of live painting. It's just a bit of a test piece, and I'm painting on a really, really thick watercolour paper today. Right, I can't see any other questions, so I'm going to fuse this. But what I want to show you, hopefully the internet is good enough to show this, but you'll see these lines at the minute are quite defined where I've put the wax on, but what they're going to do in a moment is fuse, and you get this lovely blend of colour. So I'll just, hopefully you can see that okay, and I'll come and show you in a sec once I can't fuse and hold the camera at the same time. So, okay. This quickly enough. Oops. If you can see, they've kind of blended, but they're still really molten, and they're actually soaking into the paper a lot more than they would on a wooden board, so they're actually reacting quite differently to when I'm painting on board. But again, for the colour study, it's good enough. So I think I'm going to go and lengthen these fingers somehow. See if I can tidy and tighten up her fingers over here. So what I would do to kind of do that as well, so if I do this up close here, I'm just going to take this back a bit. So just by very, very, very gently scraping a bit of that dark off the top, I'm going to get back to the layer below. You can see this okay. Hang on, I need some tissue. And just during the time that your wax is at the right temperature, it's cooled again now, so it's not removing as easily, you can just scrape that back. A bit noisy, it's a bit close, but you'll see close up. So just warm it a little bit. And I can take it back a little bit further. Oh good, I'm pleased you can see it. Thank you for letting me know. Sometimes the internet kicks in and out and you're not sure if you can see it or can't see it. So anyhow, hopefully you can see how you'd start to work, but it's so lovely just to lose yourself in it for a while. And I think I will probably just keep working away. I'll probably go and get my reference photo actually. But can you see how that's just kind of bringing that really dark splodge back a bit? Just lightening it up a little. So those are the two ways to keep building up. You kind of either keep building dark around here or take this back a little bit, and you can do that in a number of ways. As I say, you can use your, where am I gone? Here we are. You know, for larger areas I'm using this. There's all sorts of tools you can use, but it's a very slow and steady, just keep tweaking the wax, and as it completely solidifies it won't move, but you just need to keep giving it a blast along the way. So let me put this back in place. I'm going to have a go at those fingers and then I'll call it a day for today, but I just wanted to share this with you. So there aren't many people that teach this stuff. Well, it's just not widely known in the UK, and I really think it would be great for it to be more well known. So if you haven't come across it before, if you want more information, I've got a host of new information on my website. I've done a load of blogs, so check out if you go to the categories section on the blogs page, you can find, I've kind of sorted my blogs into a bit more of an order, so you can find information there. Go to the menus and you'll find information. frequently asked questions and about encaustic wax. There's all sorts of resources. I've done a lot of work on the resources that are on there, and I'm always tweaking and refining it as well. And I decided last night, I've been working a lot more with my intuition. I'm very clever at staying in my head and second guessing myself on everything, and I'm just kind of going with things a bit more at the moment rather than planning everything out to the minute detail and then not sharing things because it's not quite as I wanted it in my head. So I'm just going with it really. But last night I just felt that I just got a bit of a hit to put an offer out. So I've got lots of online courses, but I've actually done a 25% off offer for this weekend, the Black Friday weekend. So if this is something that interests you and you want to know more, it's on my online courses, it's not on the other equipment on my website or anything else. But take a look, and if it's anything that interests you, feel free to ask me any questions. Hopefully it's all self-explanatory. But yeah, there's 25% off. So you just need to put a code which is BF for Black Friday 2021. Simple as that. So there's no big thing with it. It's just if you feel called to it and this interests you. It's the most beautiful medium ever. I just don't know why it's not more widely known. It is becoming a lot more available actually. Jackson's are now supplying. I used to supply all the materials myself because they were just so impossible to get hold of, but obviously I haven't got the logistics infrastructure in place to deal with it, and then obviously with lockdown that changed everything as well, so people couldn't come to my studio. It made it really tricky. So I've stepped back from supplying the materials, but they are definitely becoming more widely available, which is fab. So the Society of All Artists are supplying them now, I've seen, which is brilliant. And yeah, Jackson's Art Supplies, the few that are, so have a look around. They are definitely becoming more widely available. And this is quite a detailed, you might not want to go this detailed. I don't know if you've seen any of my other wax pieces. So what I'll do, I think I'll do some, I'm going to say it now, I'm going to do some more lives. So I'll do some with the stylus. I'll just do some different styles over the next few days. So, and there is something that's suitable with wax for everybody from, I've had sort of young teenagers in through to like elderly grandparents with it, and it's just something that suits all levels really. It really is beautiful. I've got a lovely black inky colour, black. I can't see until I paint on that area. That's the one I want. I want that purpley colour to match in with that. Really define that hand. But yeah, I was saying there was something really for for all kind of levels and abilities. You might not want to sit and draw this kind of painting, but the stylus is lovely. The iron is fabulous. I've got lots and lots of different styles of painting, and the blogs and the information on my website can help you to decide which style is suitable for you. Seriously, I'd lose myself. And then I start humming. I don't know if you've seen any of my recent blogs or posts. Once I've lost myself, I start singing. I won't do it today, hopefully. Use that. I just love it when you put that heat on it and it just goes that delicious soft molten. You just get that really lovely hazy effect. Ooh. Right, I hope you're typing your questions in, so we'll pop back in a minute and look at the comments just so it's So it's really easy to lose what you've just painted when you fuse. Let me show you. So I've just painted those fingers on, and my that shadow out of the way. But can you see those fingers have just kind of blown? So at that point, it's a case of refining it, pulling it back. Or if you like the loose look, then keep the loose look going as well. So I think I'm going to go and get the reference image so that I can check where my lights and shadows should be. Or I might just leave it here. And I've kind of done the exercise that I wanted. I wanted to get this light reflecting back. I've got this green in here and it's, yeah, it's too cool for the colour of her face. But, you know, I can either keep playing with this or... But I do think I need to go and get my reference image. Anyhow, I won't go on for too long. I don't want to keep you on here forever. But I just thought I'd share that. Turn this around again. I just thought I'd share that with you. Let me just quickly show you. So, as I said, this was my hot plate. This is actually available on my website if it's of interest. I love this hot plate. It has a really, really steady thermostat to it. So that I don't need to... I've got some other hot plates, which are these ones, which are like the Von Chef hot plates, which they work fine, but you constantly need to be readjusting the temperature. Whereas this one, it's, I mean, at my old studio when it was very cold, I would have to have this up at 12 to keep in the winter time when it's cold like this, up at 12 to keep the wax fluid. But here I'm back home at the moment, and because it's so warm in here, we've got the central heating and everything. I mean, I've got it on about 8, and I don't need to adjust it once it's at the right temperature. I'll do that. I'm going to open the windows in a minute. I closed the doors and windows just whilst I was doing the recording. You kind of want to get a bit of ventilation going through. But yeah, it's a beautiful hot plate. I love it. So that is on my website if that's something that you are interested in. So anyhow, there you go. So as I said, I just thought I would publicly make myself accountable for coming on live, and hopefully through me doing this, that might just... I think we can all very much get caught up in that. I'm not going to share things. I'm not going to do... It's really easy to put things off, and actually once you get out and do it, it feels so much better for it. So and hopefully, yeah, by me showing up in my imperfect, unclean, untidy form, then maybe, yeah, kind of give you a bit of inspiration to go and get your kit out as well. So if you do, let me know. Feel free to post your pictures. Love knowing what you've been up to. Yeah, and if you want to, you know, if you want resources and you want help, do go and check my website out. And you know, if you want the actual online courses, then let's say there is that code this weekend for 25% off that finishes on Monday the 29th at 1 minute to midnight. Yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I will come on and do another one of these. So if you're catching up on the replay, please just let me know that you've watched it. If there are any other lives you would like me to do, let me know. I think I might get the stylus out tomorrow. And yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, hope you found it useful. I don't know where I'm looking, over here. So anyway, hey. Right, see you all soon. Bye.